Imagine walking through the rolling hills of southwest Scotland. It's a peaceful, timeless landscape. But what if I told you that beneath your feet lies a story of a sudden, ancient crisis? A story that's over 3,000 years old. Recently, archaeologists uncovered something truly extraordinary near a place called Twineshilling Hill, just south of Sanquhar. It wasn't treasure, it wasn't a fortress, but something far more personal and poignant, a Bronze Age mass burial. This discovery is rewriting what we thought we knew about life and death in prehistoric Scotland. Typically, Bronze Age burials are quite formal. You might find a single individual in a stone-lined grave, called a cist, often accompanied by a pot or some tools. But this was different. This was a messy, jumbled collection of human remains, suggesting a community in absolute turmoil. The excavation, led by a team from GURD Archaeology, was part of a project ahead of a new wind farm construction. They certainly didn't expect to find a scene of ancient tragedy. What they unearthed was a large pit, filled with the disarticulated remains of at least 6 individuals. That means their bones weren't laid out in an orderly skeleton, but were mixed together. Among the remains were 3 skulls, placed in a triangular pattern, with another skull resting on top of one of them. It's a striking and unusual arrangement that immediately signals something out of the ordinary. The team also found parts of at least 3 different children and a teenager, all jumbled together in this single grave. This wasn't a standard, respectful burial. This was a community dealing with a catastrophe so overwhelming that they had to abandon their traditional funeral rites. The way the bodies were placed suggests haste, perhaps even panic. So, what could have caused such a crisis? The archaeologists have a few theories. The most likely culprits are disease or warfare. A sudden, devastating plague could have ripped through the community, killing people so quickly that the survivors couldn't keep up with proper burials. They might have had to resort to a mass grave simply to manage the sheer number of dead and to prevent the disease from spreading further. Think about it, no medicine, no understanding of germs. A highly infectious illness would have been terrifying and unstoppable. Another strong possibility is conflict. Perhaps this small community was attacked by a rival group. The victims could have been killed in a raid, and the survivors, either grieving or in fear of another attack, had to bury their dead quickly and move on. The jumbled nature of the remains, with adults and children thrown in together, could be the grim result of a violent event that wiped out a significant portion of the population. The location itself adds another layer to the mystery. Twineshilling Hill isn't known for major Bronze Age settlements. This burial pit seems isolated, suggesting it might have been for a small, perhaps transient, group of people. Or maybe their settlement is nearby, still waiting to be discovered. The archaeologists did find a small, beautifully crafted flint arrowhead in the grave fill. Was it a stray object that fell in by accident, or was it a deliberate offering? A final token of respect in a desperate situation? Or could it even be the very weapon that caused one of the deaths? We can only speculate. What makes this find so important is how it challenges our picture of the Bronze Age. We often see it as a time of innovation, of metalworking and monument building. But the Twineshilling Hill burial gives us a rare, unfiltered glimpse into the darker side of life. It shows us the fragility of these ancient communities and the brutal realities they faced. It's a human story, not of chieftains and heroes, but of ordinary people caught in a moment of unimaginable distress. The analysis of the remains is ongoing. Scientists are now studying the bones for clues about the individual's age, sex, and health. They'll look for signs of trauma that might indicate violence or evidence of diseases that could point to an epidemic. DNA analysis might even reveal if the individuals were related, painting a picture of a family or a close-knit clan struck by tragedy. Every fragment of bone holds a potential clue to unlocking this 3,000-year-old mystery. This discovery is a powerful reminder that the past is not just a collection of artifacts and dates. It's a tapestry of human lives, filled with joy, innovation, and as we see here, profound sorrow and struggle. The people buried at Twineshilling Hill couldn't leave behind a written record of what happened to them. But through the careful work of archaeology, their silent story is finally being told, echoing across 3 millennia from the quiet hills of Scotland. It's a somber, but incredibly important piece of our shared human history. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. Discoveries like this are happening all the time, constantly changing our understanding of the past. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history and archaeology. Let me know in the comments what you think happened at this site. Was it disease, war, or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.